Foundation Bite-Size, lesson number 26. After the flood, God makes a covenant with Noah. If you like this series, would you do me a favor? Would you hit the subscribe button and also tell your friends and family members about the Firm Foundation Bite-Size videos so they can begin to see the Bible as one story, one book from Genesis to Revelation. All right? Thanks so much. Also, one more plug. That's my devotional podcast, Where is God When Life Sucks? You can subscribe to it at iTunes, Google Play Music, Podbean, Spotify, CastBox, and Stitcher. Just go to any one of those sites where you get your podcasts, type in Where is God When Life Sucks? All my devotionals will pop up. There's over 100 devotionals running anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes in length. I think you'll enjoy them, so give it a try. Where is God When Life Sucks? Well, in our last lesson, I talked about the clean and unclean animals and how all the animals from tigers, lions, wolves, and other ferocious beasts, they were in perfect harmony with all the other animals there on the ark. And this really is what Isaiah prophesied about the coming of the Messiah when he reigns here on earth for 1,000 years. It'll be a time when the lamb and the wolf will lie down side by side, just chilling, and the lamb will not be in fear whatsoever. Now we come to A. Only one door in the ark, only one entrance onto the ark. All the animals enter the ark through one door. I mean, you couldn't get into the ark any other way except by the one door. And I'm reminded of Jesus' words in John 10, where Jesus says, "Truly, truly, I say to you, he who does not enter by the door into the fold of the sheep, but climbs up some other way, he's a thief and a robber. But he who enters by the door is a shepherd of the sheep." So Jesus said to them again, "Truly, truly, I say to you, I am the door of the sheep." Just as there's only one door to gain entrance onto the ark and be saved from the flood, so also there's only one door to gain entrance into eternal life, and that is through Jesus the Messiah, the Son of God. Jesus said in John 14:6, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except by me." In 1959, a Turkish army captain discovered an unusual shape while examining aerial photographs of his country. The smooth shape, it was larger than the size of a football field. It stood out from the rough and rocky terrain at an altitude of 6,300 feet near the Turkish border with Iran. And in 1977, Ron Wyatt visited this site, obtaining official permission. Ron and others conducted more thorough research over a period of several years. They used metal detection surveys, subsurface radar scans, and chemical analysis. I mean, real science, and their findings were startling. The evidence was undeniable. This was Noah's Ark. And here's a map showing Mount Ararat, which is located in what is now Turkey. Many scientists now see that the biblical record of the flood is a true scientific explanation for the great number of fossil remains of animals such as dinosaurs and other now extinct animals. The flood also accounts for that which was once thought of in terms of just evolution. The more we learn about the Bible, the more we realize that God's Word is an amazing, accurate, scientific record of historical fact. And now we come to B. Noah, his family, and the animals in the ark, they were kept safe by God. Genesis 8, 1 through 19. But God remembered Noah and all the beasts and all the livestock that were with him in the ark. And God made a wind blow over the earth, and the waters subsided. The fountains of the deep and the windows of the heavens were closed. The rains from the heavens were restrained, and the waters receded from the earth continually. At the end of 150 days, the waters had abated. And in the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, the ark came to rest on the mountains of Ararat. And the waters continued to abate until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, the tops of the mountains were seen. At the end of 40 days, Noah opened the window of the ark that he had made. He sent forth a raven. It went to and fro until the waters were dried up from the earth. Then he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters had subsided from the face of the ground. But the dove found no place to set her foot. And she returned to him to the ark, for the waters were still on the face of the whole earth. So he put out his hand and took her and brought her into the ark with him. He waited another 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. And the dove came back to him in the evening, and behold, in her mouth was a freshly plucked olive leaf. So Noah knew that the waters had subsided from the earth. Then he waited another 7 days. He sent forth the dove, and she did not return to him anymore. In the 601st year, in the 1st month, the first day of the month, the waters were dried from off the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and behold, the face of the ground was dry. In the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth had dried out. Then God said to Noah, "Go out from the ark, you and your wife and your sons' wives with you. Bring out with you every living thing that is with you of all flesh, birds and animals, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, that they may swarm on the earth and be fruitful and multiply on the earth." So Noah went out, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him. Every beast, every creeping thing, and every bird, everything that moves on the earth went out by families from the ark. So Noah and his family and all the animals are on the ark. Not one of them died. I mean, God remembered them and he stopped the rain. And God sent a strong wind to dry up the water, and the dry land again appeared. The thing we need to remember is that God controls the rain and the wind. He controls everything. And God said he would save Noah and his family, and he did. God also said that he would destroy everything outside the ark, and he did that as well. The ark came to rest in the mountain of Ararat 150 days after the rains began. The first dove couldn't find a place to land, so returned to the ark. Noah waits 7 more days and sends the dove out again. This time, the dove comes back with a freshly plucked olive leaf. And Noah knew from this that the water was now gone from the earth. Also, the olive leaf was symbolic of new life and revealed to Noah that vegetation had already begun to grow. Now we come to C. God gave his commands and promises to Noah. Genesis 9, verse 1 and 2. And God blessed Noah and his sons and said, Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. The fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth and upon every bird of the heavens and upon everything that creeps on the ground and all the fish of the sea. Into your hand they are delivered. Well, God gave Noah and his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth control over the animals, the bird, the fish, just as he had given to Adam in the very beginning. The world and everything in it belonged to God, but he gave it to man to take care of, to be a caretaker. And now we come to D. God made a covenant with Noah. Genesis 9, verse 3. Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you. And as I gave you the green plants, I give you everything. But you shall not eat flesh with its life, that is, its blood. And for your lifeblood I will require a reckoning. From every beast I'll require it, and from man. From his fellow man I will require a reckoning for the life of man. Whoever sheds the blood of man, by man shall his blood be shed. For God made man in his own image. And you, be fruitful and multiply, increase greatly on the earth and multiply in it. Then God said to Noah and to his sons with him, Behold, I establish my covenant with you and your offspring after you, and with every living creature that is with you, the birds, the livestock, and every beast of the earth with you, as many as came out of the ark, it is for every beast of the earth. Now we come to E. God enacts the following changes after the flood. First, mankind's life expectancy decreases to about 120 years. And this is seen as an act of mercy on God's part because of the increasing tendency that man has towards evil. So basically, the idea goes that the shorter the lifespan, the less evil that a person can commit. That's true. Mankind's now allowed to eat meat. Whatever the reason, God decides that we can now have Big Macs and sirloin steak. But God still says, no way to pork chops and bacon. And now, animals are given a fear of man. Apparently, before the flood, animals and humans lived in a peaceful coexistence, but now animals instinctively fear man, and for good reasons, since man now sees some of these animals as an evening meal on the dinner table. And finally, God points to the sanctity of life by prohibiting murder. God says to Noah that whoever sheds or kills a man, his life shall be required in return. Here, God is saying that murder should be punished by death. We seem to have forgotten that as a society. Now we want to protect baby eagles and baby seals, but kill an unborn child in the womb or even at the time of birth. And we don't even want to use the death penalty on hardened criminals, even when the evidence is overwhelming in favor of their guilt. When a nation abolishes capital punishment, it says something about its view of human life. But you see, God actually has a higher view of human life than we have today, because he says that if you kill someone, your life should be taken as well. God is telling us that this really is the sanctity of life. Now we come to F. God gives the rainbow as his sign. Genesis chapter 9, verse 11. I establish my covenant with you that never again shall all flesh be cut off by the waters of the flood, and never again shall there be a flood to destroy the earth. And God said, This is the sign of the covenant that I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for all future generations. I have set my rainbow in the cloud, and it shall be a sign of the covenant between me and the earth. When I bring clouds over the earth and the rainbow is seen in the clouds, I'll remember my covenant that is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. And the waters shall never again become a flood to destroy all flesh. When the rainbow is in the clouds, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between God and every living creature of all flesh that's on the earth. God said to Noah, This is the sign of the covenant that I have established between me and all flesh that's on the earth. So the Lord gave Noah the rainbow as a sign of his covenant with all living creatures on the earth. The rainbow teaches us about our Messiah. God offered it as a token of peace between himself and humanity. He set it in the sky as a sign of his covenant faithfulness and mercy. I mean, the rainbow in its full arc I mean, it spans the distance between heaven and earth. Like the rainbow, Jesus reflects the radiance of the glory of God. The rainbow appears when light intersects with airborne moisture. The moisture in the atmosphere causes the light to refract, splitting it into multiple colors that we see. And when heaven and earth intersect in this manner, they produce a beautiful refraction and a splendid display of God's divine glory. The rainbow is God's sign of divine judgment. When we see the rainbow, it reminds us that we are worthy of the same fate as the generation of Noah. According to the sages, a generation that does not merit destruction never sees a rainbow in the sky. Well, in our next lesson, lesson number 27, Bitesize, we'll see where Noah gets drunk, and we'll see what results from that, along with God's record of the nations and the construction of the Tower of Babel. That's coming up in lesson number 27, Bitesize. Until then, this is Pastor Dale saying, Shalom.